Hi guys, I'm King Rim. We'll be talking about the Newtown tragic events that occurred last week. Okay, number one question I raised was, why did he do it? I know that's a lot of questions. It's very, very simple. It's not very detailed. However, it is a big question in many minds across the country. For those who do not know what happened, I'm gonna be summarizing that. Maybe if you live in a different country or you do not fully understand it, that's what my job here to do is. Is it sad? Yeah, it's so, like, it's unbelievable. It's unreal. In many places, I don't think it would occur, but it did. And I guess we just have to get through it together and definitely consider the possibilities. So, I'm going to be talking step by step what he did. Um, so, he wakes up. He wakes up in the morning. Maybe he has problems, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. He was autistic. Many autistic people are very smart and they get judged for whom they are. Is that very nice to do? No. Maybe he had problems. Maybe he didn't. Just because you're autistic does not mean you struggle with depression, anxiety, aggression. It does not mean you have problems. Just because you have a type of autism does not mean you are psycho. Like, seriously. So was he psycho? I do not believe so. I think he just had some issues that were not so clear, and he had some problems. So he wakes up in the morning. He has access to guns, which I don't know how an autistic person would have access to guns. If you've ever seen an autistic person, they are very bright. However, they're different, which is great. They're unique. So was he a good unique? However, I do not believe so. Maybe he was in the past, but in the present, he was not. He's still remembered as a bad guy, which is not a great way to go down. So he wakes up, he gets guns, he kills his mother. Wow. His mother was a regular target shooter. Every week she went out into the target range and shot her guns. So that is how he had access to the guns. Why were they not secure and locked up? We don't know. Should they be secured and locked up? Yeah, of course. Then he gets his guns again. He goes out. He drives 2 to 5 miles to an elementary school. And why did he go to an elementary school? Why didn't he go to a supermarket or a hospital or a bank? We don't know. Why did he choose an elementary school? Okay, still don't know. Then he gets there. He shoots his way in. Shoots through the glass, climbs through, kills the principal, teachers, first graders and kindergartners, 6 to, they're talking 5, 6, 7-year-olds here, guys. As a little kid, you never thought about death. You never knew what it was. You're invincible, right? These kids didn't fully understand what was going on, but it was a tragic event. Some adults tried to call and get help. However, they were soon deceased. So, why did he do it? Why did he choose a school? Why did he have guns? Why did he do it? Why did he kill himself? Later he did kill himself, which is sad. It's sad what he did anyways. A lot of people don't talk about his mother being shot and killed, which I think that's really the link of this story. That's where I think it all started. Excuse me. I think him and his mother had maybe some problems with each other, and that's really what made this so bad. Maybe he had, family and communication problems with his mother, and that got to him too much. And maybe he snapped. He finally just quit. He said, "I'm done. I don't like this." Maybe he had maybe he was depressed. Maybe he did have, aggression. Maybe he there's many reasons, guys. Will this ever be solved? Will there be find out a motive? Will there be solving the case? No. In my mind, I do not think so. Why? He did not seem like the guy that would have a lot of friends. To be completely honest, I don't think he had much family either. I don't know how he came up with this. So I don't know if it'll ever be solved. My opinion stands as no. If you want to argue with that, that's great. I want to hear your side. However, I do not think it will ever be solved because we really don't know much about the case. We know what happened, but we don't know why. That's a big question. Why? Why? We don't know. So another question I raise and discuss is why did he have access to weapons or firearms, however you want to say it? The weapons that he had were an assault rifle, a Glock automatic pistol, and a 9mm pistol. Why did he have those weapons? Okay, I'm gonna tell you right here. He should have not had the Glock or the assault rifle. No, there's no way he should have had that. Why? Okay, it should be harder to buy guns these days. Anybody, one of my parents could walk in to a pawn store, a gun, a weapon, firearm store, Shields, Walmart, go anywhere basically, buy a weapon, and it's yours. To little to no background checks. Yeah, you have to do background checks through the federal government. They do a background check, but that's basically it. Really, they are just checking for criminal records and seeing if you're a valid citizen, stuff like that. His mother can have weapons. Yes, she's fine to have weapons. But why were they not locked up? Why were they not in a safe, secure place where he could not get them? If she knew that he had troubles, and you can very much so tell if somebody has very personal problems, then you should protect those items more securely. Why? Because if he did have a personal problem, if he did not like what was going on in that household, you should protect things that can be harmful. If that's hiding the knives, if that's putting away, sharp things, if that's putting your guns hidden or locking them up, then do it. Because it will save you a lot of lives. Okay? So, I know he's autistic, and that does not mean he has other problems. Just because you're autistic does not mean anything. He sounded like a very bright individual. However, he made a stupid mistake, and look at him now. He's deceased. Do I think he should have had access to them? No. No way. Why did he have access? I don't get it. Like, most people lock their guns up, hide their guns. Some people put them in their car. I was at Home Depot. This girl that worked there, she was like, yeah, I got 2 guns in my car. I'm like, how do you have 2 guns in your car? She said she had like a revolver and a 9mm. Why do you have those guns? I don't know. It's so easy to buy a gun nowadays. Do I think it should be harder? Hell yeah. I think some of the guns on the market should be taken down, to be quietly honest. You should not be able to buy an assault rifle, a submachine gun, a sniper rifle, some of these guns that should not be on the market. I think hunting rifles and pistols are about it for me. I don't think any other gun should be on the market. And if they are, that's a problem. These exotic guns should be put away and stored away. So that's just my opinion. Maybe you think differently. That's fine. My family does not own a gun, nor will we probably ever, because there's no need for a gun if you're not going to use it for target shooting or hunting. Really, there's no need. Protection-wise, if you are really that unsecure about your protection, you should probably learn karate or something, not buy a gun. Because most people who buy a gun don't know how to use it. Just because you buy a gun doesn't mean you know how to use it. So if you do have a gun and you don't know how to use it, learn how to use it, but don't use it improperly. I think I'm going to wrap it up there because it is a very sad thing, I know, and it angers me why he even had possession of a gun, or guns. Just because the guy was autistic, maybe he did have personal problems. Does that mean he was a psycho? It doesn't mean that he was, a psycho. I mean, there's no way. I don't think he was a psycho. I just think he had problems, and they needed to be solved, and they never got solved. And so he went insane. But it does not sound like he had very many friends or family, so maybe that was another motive. Maybe he felt isolated, or maybe he felt like he had no communication with friends or family. So that wraps it up. I'm Arm Kangaroo. Have a nice day, and thank you guys for watching.